Hi students, I welcome you all for control system lectures. In the previous class, we have discussed the concept of frequency response specifications. We have derived expression for different frequency response specifications like resonant frequency, resonant peak, bandwidth, right? So in this class, in continuation to the previous class, in this class, we are going to solve a numerical problem on frequency response specifications, right? So here we go. It was given the transfer function, open loop transfer function g of s is equal to 200 by s into s plus 8. So we need to find the frequency response specifications for this transfer function. So what we know is unity feedback transfer function from this open loop transfer function can be written as g of s by 1 plus g of s into h of s, right? So g of s is given. So we need to write the closed loop transfer function, that is unity feedback transfer function. Uh, just substitute g of s and h of s. H of s is 1 since it is unity feedback transfer function. 1 plus g of s into h of s. H of s is 1. So 1 since h of s is equal to 1. Right? So compare, now we need to just simplify this equation. Simplify this, what we get is s into s plus 8 plus 200, right? So we need to write it in terms of generalized second order equation, quadratic equation, that is 200 by s square plus 8s plus 200. So how it looks? This looks like a quadratic second order equation in a quadratic form, right? So how actually second order equation looks? Second order quadratic equation is omega n square divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. So we need to compare this a and this is b. Compare a and b. Compare a and b. What we get is numerator omega n square, that is natural frequency, is equal to 200. Therefore omega n is equal to, if you solve, you get omega n as 14.14 radians per second, right? So frequency in terms of radians. Now what we have here is 2 zeta omega n, and compare with our equation which was given problem. 2 zeta omega n here, 2 zeta omega n is equated to 8, right? So 2 zeta omega n is equal to 8. We know what is omega n, substitute here, and what we need to find is zeta, that is equal to 8 divided by 2 into 14.14, right? So by computing you get this as 2.282. Okay, so what we know here is omega n natural frequency and zeta damping ratio, right? So we derived frequency specifications, frequency domain specifications in the previous class. The first one is frequency, resonant frequency. Resonant frequency. Resonant frequency is omega r. So what we got by deriving it in the previous class is omega r is equal to omega n into root of 1 minus 2 zeta square. 2 zeta square. Just substitute omega n and zeta values in this. What is omega n? 14.14 into root of 1 minus 2 zeta. Zeta is 0.282 whole square. So just compute this. What you get is 12.96 radians per second. Why? This is actually frequency, so we need to represent in terms of radians per second. So this is how simply we can solve resonant frequency. And the next parameter is resonant peak. Resonant peak. What is resonant peak? MP, right? So what is the formula for MP? MP is given as 1 by 2 zeta to root of 1 minus zeta square. If you remember the previous class, resonant peak we have derived and it is arrived as 1 by 2 zeta into root of 1 minus zeta square. So substitute zeta here. 1 by zeta square 1 by 2 into 0.282 to root of 1 minus 0.282 square. Okay, if you compute, you will get resonant peak at an amplitude of 1.84, right? This is the resonant peak actually. So resonant peak will occur at 1.84 m of j omega magnitude, and where it is occurring? Omega r. Omega r is 12.96 radians per second. It is equal to 12.86 radians per second. Now we need to find the bandwidth of it, right? How to compute the bandwidth? So next one is bandwidth, omega omega b, bandwidth. Okay, how to compute this bandwidth? Bandwidth, if you remember the previous class, bandwidth we have derived, it is given as w omega b is equal to omega n square root of 1 minus 2 zeta square plus square root of 4 zeta power 4 minus 4 zeta square plus 2. Okay, so what we have is omega n and zeta. We need to just substitute omega n and zeta. Okay, substitute omega n and zeta in the above equation. What we get is 14.14 root of 1 minus 2 zeta is 0.282 square, right, plus root of 4 into 0.282 power 4 minus 4 into 0.282 square plus 2. Okay, so if you compute the bandwidth, you will get bandwidth as 20 radians, 20.68 radians per second. What does this mean? So in the plot, the bandwidth is given at, is obtained at the amplitude of 0.707. So this band will have the frequency of 20.68 radians, right? This is the bandwidth. Okay, so this is how we can compute different frequency domain specifications. So with this example, we will go further into a graphical method, that is Bode plot. So this is the end of the frequency domain specifications with the problem. Now we'll go with Bode plot. So let us consider a Bode plot. Like Bode plot actually is a graphical method in which if you have a certain system, if you apply a sine wave or sine input to the system, you get a sine wave output, where only change you get here is amplitude and the phase, right? So a sine omega t is the input to the system, which is LTI system, because we are bothered of linear time invariant systems. The property of linear time invariant system is you get a transient and the steady state value. So we are bothered only on the steady state output. So when you consider certain system, if you give a sine wave to it, which is a sine omega t, where omega is the frequency, a is the amplitude. So output what you get is b sine omega t plus phi. So the change in amplitude and the phase. The sine wave remains as same as the input with the same frequency, but it appears the change in amplitude and the phase, right? So if you consider this as a sine wave, this is an input sine wave. So what you may get is the same sine wave with the phase change, right? The phase change and the amplitude may vary and phase may vary, but the frequency remains the same. So the point here is the reason why we should go with the Bode plot. So what the importance of Bode plot is, when sinusoidal input is applied to a LTI system, would give the sinusoidal output with the change in amplitude and the phase angle at the output, but the frequency remains same as input. So to visualize this change and this change, amplitude change and the phase change for the different frequencies, right? So whatever the input frequency is varying, for any varying in input frequency, how this amplitude and the phase is influenced, how these two are changing for different set of frequencies. So to visualize this gain and the phase shift for a different frequency of system, this can be done by using Bode plot, right? So Bode plot will help us to analyze amplitude change and the phase change for the given set of frequencies, right? Visualization of amplitude and phase phi. Okay, so how can we visually see this? How can we visually analyze the changes in amplitude and the phase? So Bode plot consists of two graphs with x-axis as frequency, right? Omega frequency. So for both plots, x-axis remains same First plot we would be going interested in gain in dB, decibels, okay? And second plot we are going with phase angle in degrees, okay? So we'll be having a different frequencies here. It would be 0.01 and zero point 0.1 or 1, 10 and 100, so on, right? So phase frequency would be varying on x-axis, and with respect to change in frequency, what will be the amplitude variation and what will be the phase variation. So the reason to go this is for any set of linear time invariant systems, what we actually interested or bothered is the steady state output. For the steady state output, as we know, when you are giving a sinusoidal input to a system, you get the sinusoidal output. Only variation is amplitude and the phase. So how much it is varying, how much amplitude is influenced, how much phase is based on this, we will be estimating the stability actually. So if you remember the root locus, based on the location of poles, we are estimating how the locus tends towards the left half of S-plane or right half of S-plane, right? Uh, if you remember root locus, this is a root locus for some certain system. So this is left half of S-plane, left half of S-plane, left half plane, right half plane, right? So what we bothered here is the stability of relative stability, right? Relative stability, if I am adding any pole to the system, how this actually influencing the system stability, we checked in root locus. Here what we are bothered here is also a relative stability. So how the relative stability is influenced or varied by change in the frequency omega, right? So we will be considering gain in dB actually. Here we can't actually directly compute the gain. See, if you observe the sine omega t, input a sine omega t to a system, some system, you get g of s, you may get b sine omega t, sorry, b sine omega t plus phi, right? So here we can't actually take this gain b to represent in this plot. We need to convert this gain in terms of decibels actually, right? So since we can't directly plot this gain, we need to convert this gain into power actually, this gain in terms of power, and represent that power gain in decibels, that is a logarithmic unit. To convert the amplitude into decibels, we need to consider log 10 actually, log base 10 to the ratio of amplitudes, that is a naught by a out, a or else b by a, output by input amplitudes, b, sorry, b by a, right, amplitude of output by amplitude of input, with the multiplication factor of 20. So why we should multiply this 20? How this is arrived? In Bell laboratory, to find the noise of a signal in a transmission signal, to find the losses actually, in Bell laboratory, uh, Bell and his team introduced a unit called transmission unit, one transmission unit, and he represented that transmission unit as 10 log base 10 with change in power. This is nothing but the amplitude change, right? So then later Bell proposed a unit to represent this whole thing, that is power, change in power, in terms of 1 by 10th Bell, right? He gave this unit, and later it was represented as 1 deci. 10th time we are considering, so 1 deci and Bell, decibel. So since it is arrived from the Bell laboratories, it was proposed by Bell and his team. So this one transmission unit of loss, right, transmission loss, is represented in terms of 1 decibel. As we know, power is directly proportional to amplitude square, right? We know this, and what we know here, power is 1 decibel, right? So 1 decibel dB is equal to, what is this? 1 decibel is equal to 10 log 10 amplitude square. That is, power can be considered as amplitude square. 10 log 10 power we are considering is as amplitude square. So from the characteristic of logarithms, this logarithm we can rewrite as 1 dB is equal to 20 log base 10. This 2 can be multiplied here, and we can rewrite this as 20 log base 10 amplitude times, right? So this is how we get this logarithm amplitude representation as 20 log base 10 with output amplitude by input amplitude, which will be represented in terms of decibels. Actually, this is nothing but decibels, right? 1 decibel. So okay, then we'll come back to Bode plot. So by change in frequency, how much gain and phase are getting changed, right? As we mentioned here, when you are giving certain input to a system, change in input amplitude, right? Change in frequency here omega, how much output amplitude B and how much phase phi is getting changed. Okay, so what we have here is two plots, as I mentioned. First plot is a gain plot, right? Gain plot is nothing but we are bothered of amplitude g of j omega by changing in omega for a different set of omega plots, and the second one is phi, that is change in, that is equal to change in g of j omega with a change in frequency, right? Bode plot is applicable only to the minimum phase transfer function. So the important point here is Bode plot is applicable only to the minimum phase transfer function. What is this minimum phase transfer function? We are considering S plane, j omega and phi. We know that whatever the roots are on the left half of S plane. See, roots of S plane, left half of S plane. If the roots are lying on the left half of S plane, and system is tend to be stable, right? If the roots are on right half of S plane, then system is unstable. We have seen this in root locus, right? So this minimum phase transfer function, minimum phase transfer function, minimum phase transfer function tells that omega should be always greater than 0, and the frequency, that is frequency, is positive, and the all roots must lie on the left half of S plane, right? So all roots must lie on the left half of S plane. For that particular systems only our Bode plot is applicable. Bode plot is applicable only for minimum phase transfer function. Minimum phase transfer function. That means the poles are roots. Either it would be poles or zeros. It could be poles or zeros. It should lie on left half of S plane only. Okay, then we'll start with the steps to plot this Bode plot. We'll construct this Bode plot. What are the different steps we need to consider, right? So procedure to plot Bode. So procedure to plot Bode. So first step 1 is write the transfer function in the standard form. We need to write the transfer function in standard form. What is the standard form for root Bode plot is concerned? Standard form. So what is the standard form actually? So if you have a g of s, open loop transfer function as s plus a into s plus b divided by s plus p into s plus q. So if you have a transfer function in this form, what we need to do is we need to separate this a b, that means poles and zeros outside the transfer function, and whatever the output you get when you are segregating or you are taking out of these poles and zeros from the transfer function, that is nothing but the standard form, right? Just you take out all the poles and zeros, a by pq, b by pq, pq of 1 plus s by a 1 plus s by b divided by 1 plus s by p into 1 plus s by q. Okay, so this is nothing but the standard form of the transfer function. If you are bothered of Bode plot, if you are considering Bode plot, this is nothing but the generalized or standard form of transfer function. So here this AB by PQ, we can consider it as K. Then just rewrite the same thing again. S by A into S1 plus S by B divided by 1 plus S by P to 1 plus S by Q. Okay, so here K is nothing but gain. K is nothing but gain. If you observe in a second class, I mean second unit, when we are discussing, we discussed about the type of system. What is type 0 system? Type 0 system is if you are not having any pole on the origin. Here if you observe, there is no s term here. S term represents the poles at the origin. If you have s square, that means two poles at the origin. If you have s, that means one pole at the origin. If you have no s term in the denominator, that means there are no poles at the origin. That is nothing but type 0 system. No pole at origin. So for this type of systems, the slope of the magnitude plot, here actually important thing is slope of the magnitude plot. As I mentioned, the slope, this is actually dB plot, gain plot, and this is the frequency omega, right? dB plot and frequency plot. So gain plot, as far as the gain plot is concerned, the slope of the first line when you are starting your initial point of this gain plot will start at 0 dB. Okay, consider this as 0 dB, right? So positive and this is negative. If you consider this as 0 dB, right? 0 dB, and the first line will start from here. If this, like this, how to decide this? This will be decided based on the transfer function which you have. If you have a transfer function with a no pole at the origin, then it will start at 0, right? Gain plot will start at 0 because we need to like starting point is important. Once you know the starting point, then based on these poles and the zeros, we can actually plot this bode. Then how to do that, and we'll be seeing in in this class itself. So important thing here is when you have no pole at origin, that is type 0 system, then for that system, first line of slope will start at 0 dB, right? For this type 0, slope of first line is at 0 dB. So for similarly for type 0 system, that means one pole at origin. If you have any system like s into something like 1 by s into s plus a kind of systems, this is type 1 system. Sorry, this is actually, I should mention it as a type 1 actually. By mistake I wrote it as type 2. So this is type 1. Okay, for this type 1 system, the initial point of slope of first line is nothing but this one. This will start at a minus 20 dB, right? So 20 here, actually if you are going towards positive, this is positive axis of dB, and this is negative. So if you are starting at 0 here, the negative 20 minus 20 would come here, somewhere here, right? So negative 20. If you have two poles, that means minus 40, minus 20 plus minus 20, right? You need to add another minus 20 if you have two poles at the origin. Similarly, and so on. It depends on number of poles you have in your system, number of poles at origin in your system. So if you have 0 at the origin, what you need to consider is slope of first line would start at plus 20 dB. See how it actually looks is s by s plus a, this kind of systems, because only s is there in the numerator. This types of system is if you have this kind of system, that means only 1 0 at origin, then the slope of the first line would start somewhere at 20 dB. Hope it is clear till here. So what we came up till here is just a starting point we analyzed. Where should be the gain plot starts, right? So the second step 2. Step 2 is to identify the gain and the slope of first line. So now we identified the gain here. Now what we need to identify is the gain. So at 20 dB, as we mentioned here from the slope, depends on the pole R0 at origin. We understood where the first line of slope will start. But coming to gain, actually, at that point, what is the gain? The initial point, what is the gain to be considered? Right? Gain we can calculate at the frequency omega is equal to 1 radian per second. Gain is given as equal to 20 log k. 20 log k at omega is equal to 1 radian per second. At 1 radian per second. So for each and every radian, that means the x-axis we are writing in terms of radians per second. The gain is given as 20 log k. What is k? It is actually the some product of zeros and poles, right? As we mentioned in the above here when we are introducing, see, this is nothing but the k. K is nothing but the values of poles and zeros. AB are zeros and PQ are poles. That is nothing but k, and gain is given as 20 log k. This is about the second step. And third step, coming to the third step, step 3. Step 3 is arrange all the frequencies in the ascending order and define the slope at each line. Right? Arrange all the frequencies. Suppose you have total number of four roots actually. Right? In the above example, what we discussed is A, B are poles, P, Q are zeros. Sorry, A, B are zeros. These are zeros. These are poles. From the given scenario, generalized form. So we need to arrange the frequency, like based on the frequency, arrange all the frequency in ascending order and define the slope at each line. Okay, suppose A would have some frequency omega, right? A will be having some frequency omega, B will be having some frequency omega, P will be having some frequency, and we need to arrange based on the frequency. We need to arrange these poles, right? A, B, P, Q are four different frequencies needs to be arranged in ascending order, right? So consider poles are having a higher frequency, right? P is greater than, Q is greater than, B is greater than A. So like just for example, based on the frequency, these poles and zeros should be arranged, right? Now based on this, what we need to do is we need to consider, we know where the plot starts in the gain, right? If you have any zero, any pole or the zero at the origin, we know where exactly the plot will start. But once the plot starts actually, based on this pole and zero, how the plot tends towards, right? At different frequencies. Say, see, actually what I'll draw and show you. So this is the frequency, right? Omega is the frequency. So if you have all these poles, different poles and zeros, where A is having lesser frequency, right? A is having lesser frequency. The first time we need to arrange, as I mentioned, we need to arrange in terms of ascending order. That means we need to write A first, B the next, and Q next, and P. Ascending order wise, we need to arrange this. This ascending order is based on the frequency actually, right? So if you have a 0, what we need to do here is, in the example, since we don't have any 0 or pole at the origin, we considered the starting point as 0 dB, right? So 0 dB. Then what we need to do is for A, right? For A, if the frequency of A would give you 20 dB, right? Here actually poles, if you have any pole, you will get minus 20 dB. Pole would give you minus 20 dB per decade. If you have a 0, you get plus 20 dB per decade. So what is the first one here? A. A is nothing but 0 in our case. So what you get here is 20 dB plus 20 dB, right? Plus 20 dB plus 20 dB. Then again from here to here 20 dB. Again what you have here is just take it out here. Okay, fine. Anyway, so plus 20 dB if you have, sorry, plus 20 dB if you have a 0. So next thing is again b is again a 0. Again you need to add 20 dB to this, right? So again 20 dB plus 20 dB. From here to here and here to here you may get another 0. Therefore, just rub it this one. Then what you have here is Q. Q, see these are frequencies, right? Increasing in frequency. Increasing in frequency. So we need to arrange in terms of frequency, right? Once we arrange in terms of frequency in ascending order, we need to represent 20 dB, minus 20 dB if you have poles, 20 dB if you have zeros. Okay. So next thing is Q till here. Then Q is pole, so minus 20 dB, right? Minus 20 dB, minus 20 dB. Again what you have is again a pole, so minus 20 dB, minus 20 dB and minus 20 dB. Okay, this is how we need to arrange. So based on this arrangement, we can get the plot in this way, right? So hope it is clear till here. Now next step is to write the equation for phase plot and make a table, right? Yeah, so next step 4, we need to write equation, sorry, equation for phase plot and make a table of it. Make a table of phase angle with changing frequency, right? So how we get this is phase is equal to, you get plus if you have 0, that means plus tan inverse of omega by A. This means A is actually 0. Again you have B, tan inverse of omega by B. B is again 0. So you get positive term if you have a 0, negative term if you have a pole P. So here we have a pole, therefore you get minus here, minus tan inverse of omega by Q. So this is how we can calculate phi for a different set of frequency. You need to just substitute different sets of frequency here to calculate phi. Right? We know ABC, AB, PQ and omega is chosen based on varying omega. What is the varying phase you get? Right? Omega you can vary and phase should be calculated based on changing omega for different omega values like 0.1, 1, 10 and 100. Different omega values frequencies, what is the phase change, right? So this is how we get, and we can at the end, once you calculate all these 4, we can get the magnitude plot and phase plot from here. I'll just represent in terms of plots here. So 0 dB, I'll consider 0 dB here this way, and magnitude in dB, if you have any single pole at origin, so the plot slope will start at plus 20 dB, right? Initial point is plus 20 dB, and it will go, and at certain frequency omega, right, omega is equal to 1, say this is 0.1 and 1, then you may get like this. That means 20 dB decrementing. That means next phase, next ascending, as I say, as we need to represent in terms of ascending order terms, here the phase change is minus 20 dB. That means you would have had some pole, right? So that you got minus 20 dB till omega is equal to 10. Then again, if you would have got minus 20 dB again, you would have had another pole. Then omega is equal to 100, 100 and so on, right? If you had another pole at origin, then you will get the flat here this way, right? Similarly, the phase, if you plot, you may get the phase plot like this, right? So this will be at minus 180 degrees. So for different varying in omega values, we need to calculate the phase and represent the phase, changing phase in terms of phi value in this way, right? So this is omega, this is omega. And important thing we need to consider here is gain crossover frequency and phase crossover frequency, right? So here in the gain plot, wherever the gain crossing your 0 dB is gain crossover frequency omega GC. Gain crossover frequency. It is important for us to know the stability of the system based on this term. It is very important. You please listen carefully. This is gain crossover frequency at omega. Like omega should be at a 0 dB. Whatever the plot, gain plot is crossing your 0 dB plot, 0 dB. The point is mentioned as gain crossover frequency. Similarly, phase crossover frequency is phi. Phase crossover frequency phi, sorry, omega. This is omega. Is omega PC. Phase crossover frequency. Phase crossover frequency. So here one more important point is, if you draw a parallel line from the gain crossover frequency, whatever you see here, the plot difference from the 180 minus 180 degrees, right? Here this is nothing but phase margin. Phase margin. And if you draw a parallel line from the phase crossover frequency, this is nothing but gain margin. Gain margin. This is nothing but the gain margin. So gain margin is GM. Okay. So these are 4 important terms we need to consider to analyze the stability, analyze the system performance using Bode plot. Gain crossover frequency is the frequency at which the gain plot crosses 0 dB, and phase crossover frequency is the frequency at which the phase plot crosses minus 180 degrees, and the gain margin is the margin if you draw a perpendicular from minus 180 of the phase plot. What is the difference you get from the gain from 0 dB is gain margin, and phase margin is the margin when you draw a perpendicular from the 0 dB of 0 dB, that means gain crossover frequency. Whatever the difference you get from the phase plot with respect to minus 180 degrees is the phase margin. Okay, so these are 4 important terms which will tell us whether the system is stable or unstable, or what we can do to make the system stable or unstable. So these, as far as the stability is concerned, these are the four important terms. Once we draw the Bode plot, we need to consider phase margin, gain crossover frequency and phase crossover frequency to analyze the stability of the system. Stability of Bode plot. Stability of Bode plot. If gain crossover frequency is less than phase crossover frequency. So if you observe what is the gain crossover frequency, see gain crossover frequency you are getting somewhere for the lesser, I mean phase crossover frequency. Here if you see phase crossover frequency you are getting somewhere for the lesser frequency values, but the gain crossover frequency, I'll show you clearly. See, this is the gain crossover frequency. This is the phase crossover frequency. If you see the frequency on the x-axis, the frequency of gain crossover will be higher than the frequency of phase crossover. So this is satisfied. Therefore, the system is stable. So this should be satisfied to get the system as stable. If your gain crossover frequency is greater than phase crossover frequency, then the system is unstable. Similarly, if gain crossover frequency is equal to phase crossover frequency, then the system is marginally stable. Marginally stable. Right? So this is how we can analyze the stability of system. And also what we can do here is we can adjust some parameter in the gain, right? So that we can make our system to be stable. See, suppose by adding extra pole or zero to a system, there will be a change in 0 dB. See, suppose if you are having a 0 dB here, if I add extra pole with certain frequency, then minus 20 dB would become plus 20 dB. So where in which we can satisfy these conditions by adding some poles or zeros or some gain to the system. We can actually shift these plots to satisfy this condition, so that we can make the system stable. So this is how we can actually plot the Bode plot and analyze the stability of it. In the next class, we'll start with a numerical problem wherein which you'll understand where and these steps, how to implement these steps to plot Bode and analyze the system stability. So thanks for your attention. We'll see you in the next class.